I actually think it's an advantage to have a 6 month break in your golf season. And the reason for that is I think we're given the unique opportunity to like really break down golf swings and really make like meaningful changes. So what's really hard to do, especially because I've given almost 7,000 golf lessons, is to say, hey, fix your grip, fix your aim, and then in the backswing, quit doing that with your elbow. Don't forget to turn your hips, and then oh yeah, hit it 180 yards and dead straight. Like what? How hard is that? Like I can barely walk and chew gum. I can barely, hold my breath and hit the ball. Like I can barely do two things at once. So humans are terrible at doing multiple things at the same time effectively. So what I've learned is like in the winter, I'm going to encourage you to hit it like crap, but you better do what I'm telling you to do. And then when it's time, when it's March, April, May, when it's time to go hit good golf shots, I really don't want you to think a whole lot. Really don't care if you do what I say. I want you to hit the ball close to the hole. So I try to separate those mindsets for players because that way we can grow so much faster in the off season. You can really take like 5, 6 really good months, really make your mechanics really good. And then when you get to the summer, it's like, okay, you did the hard work, forget it. Let's go play for a few months.
Yeah, I've seen you use like foam balls so you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
you've
like
done your homework,
where the
man.
ball's going. Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I got some.
Do you?
I got
Yeah.
some and
So
I got a little garage gym. I
yeah,
got a
so
little
for
mat.
the people
So
that don't understand that, right? So why would I hit a foam ball if I could hit a real ball? Well, when you hit a real ball, and we've all done it and we hit it really well, we think we looked like Tiger Woods. Like for that one swing, like you hit it so good, you hit it, 180 yards dead straight right by the hole. You thought you looked awesome, but I've videoed enough of these swings, right? It still looked terrible. You just happened to find the middle of the face. So when you hit the middle of the club face, we get this dopamine rush. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm so good. At least that one was so good. I must have done something perfect. No, it looked like crap. You got lucky and hit the middle of the face, right? So when we're golfing, we're constantly chasing that. Whatever we can do to hit that ball super solid, that's what we're looking for. I put that foam golf ball down. All of a sudden, you have no idea if you hit it good, if you hit it bad, if you sliced it, hooked it, shanked it, topped it. You really don't know because you can't feel the feedback. So I'm able to take that part of the brain that's like striving for that, and I'm able to focus its energy on what I'm trying to get them to focus on. I'm trying to get them to focus on whatever we're doing in their swing. Do this with your wrist, do this with your elbow, whatever. And I see results at least 10 times faster than I do with a real golf ball. It's outrageous.
during the season, what do those look like? Is it more like
Yeah.
more of the skill component? Is it ball flight? What
Yeah,
do those
totally.
look like?
Yeah, awesome question. So I wouldn't say I don't teach any mechanics during the summer. I'll still do some. Like, hey, especially like at setup, like, oh my gosh, your shoulders have gotten way open. Like, we got to fix that. So I'll do some of that stuff, but I try to be the least invasive as possible. So, like, for example, like the most common thing, people hit it to the right. Okay. So the first thing I'll do is be like, okay, what in our setup like could help us not do that? It could be your arm positioning, your grip, maybe your club face is just set up open at setup, right? So if I can go through those boxes, like I feel like that's the least invasive because they're not moving. They don't have to think about a darn thing to do different. Just before you hit this ball, you have all this time in the world, right? We got minutes between shots. You can remember this as you step in. Do X, Y, Z to make sure the ball doesn't go to the right. Okay. Other than that, I like to focus a lot on the skill development side and the performance side. So once we can kind of, I call it like identifying and controlling your bias. So if someone comes in and, maybe they got a good swing, maybe they don't. But in the middle of July, what are they looking for? Well, they just want to play better. So if they're coming through the golf ball and like 6 out of 10 are going just say off the toe, well, then I'll look through the swing and say, what could be causing that? And does this player have the skill to fix that problem? So, for example, we might do a drill where I have them alternate hitting the toe and then the heel, and then the toe and then the heel, and then the toe and then the heel, and then switch clubs and go toe, heel, toe, heel. And once they feel like they've calibrated that and they can do that, I'll ask them, hey, here's your 6 iron, let's hit the middle. And so what's interesting is if you do that enough, especially with young golfers. I've got a kid now we started doing that 2 years ago. If I ask him to hit it, so TrackMan has an impact feature. It'll tell you exactly where you hit it. If I say, hey, hit this 8 millimeters off the heel, he can do it. How about 11 millimeters off the toe? Bang, he can do it. I go, how about 1 millimeter on the toe side of center. Bang, he can do it. And so anytime I give him anything to work on, it takes him like 2 swings to hit the middle of the face with the new move. Like, because he is so skilled at hitting the middle of the face. So I'll do a lot of that in the summer, like building skills, fixing biases. Like if you're snap hooking everything, of course I'm going to change something. That's terrible. Like you can't play golf like that. So we'll do some of that. And then I try to get them into like a performance mindset too. So, you know, everyone gets to the driving range and what do? They start smacking 7-irons, and like you get to hit maybe 3 7-irons in a round of golf. So I'll have them hit, you know, a driver between those trees and then a sand wedge at that pin, but you can't go left of it. So aim a little right of it. And then a 5-iron off a tee because it's par 3, can't be short of this green, hit it there. And I make them go through their routine. And basically what that does is it preps them for the wild, right? It preps them for being out on the golf course. So if they can take what they've applied in the first half of the lesson, maybe it was the setup, maybe it was the grip, whatever, and they can start to apply that in a performance like mindset, then I feel good when they walk away. If they're still struggling with it, we might spend more time on the mechanics, but my preference is to do more skill building, more performance based kind of, I guess, stuff during the season because I see that help the golfer more, but I don't neglect mechanics. I want to make sure they're still in a good spot. So like a lot of times it's just going back to what we did in February. It's like, oh, you know how we worked on that takeaway? It's starting to kind of go back to what you like. Let's just have a little bit of mindfulness about that takeaway and you should be good. So there's some stuff like that too.